Donald Trump cannot run from his Jeffrey Epstein scandal. No matter how hard Donald Trump tries to distract us, to make up new stories, or to tell his MAGA base to move on, they just won't. And someone who is making sure that that is the case is Elon Musk, who has re-emerged to cause more problems for Donald Trump, not just after his insane posts about Jeffrey Epstein, but amid his attempt to cover it up, which is backfiring in a way that we're going to get into it. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting the work that we're doing. Now, before we can get into Elon's response to the cover-up, we got to start where it all began with Rowana's resolution to bring forward these Epstein files.
Last night, the Speaker's Rules Committee voted to block my amendment that called for the full release of the Epstein files while protecting the victim's identity. Let's just be clear. They voted to protect rich and powerful men who were abusing, assaulting, and abandoning young women. That's what this vote is about. A nation that chooses impunity for the rich and the powerful at the expense of our children is a nation that has lost its moral purpose. So you ask, why did they vote this way? Let's speak plainly. Because these rich and powerful men donate to the politicians in Washington, D.C., play golf with the elites in Washington, D.C., they are foreign leaders who we don't want to offend. They interact with our intelligence agencies that we don't want to disobey. There is something rotten in Washington. And this is a question of whose side are you on? Are you on the side of the people? Are you on the side of America's children? Or are you on the side of the rich and powerful who've had their thumb on the scales and shafted Americans for decades? We are going to get a vote again this afternoon. And I hope people will find the courage of a Republican like Ralph Norman, or a Republican like Marjorie Taylor Greene, or a Republican like Thomas Massie, or the many, many MAGA Republicans who are demanding the full release of the Epstein files. It's not a question just of Epstein. It's a question of trust in our democracy. It's a question of restoring a government of the people, by the people.
The gentleman's time has expired. Just a moment. Does the gentlelady wish to yield any additional
Another
time?
30 seconds.
The gentleman has an additional 30 seconds.
And it's a question of the rebirth of a nation that stands for our children. I hope everyone in this up or down vote will vote to make sure that the Epstein files are released while protecting victims' identity.
This is no longer just a Trump scandal. It now involves the entire MAGA movement. Republicans are being forced to take a public stance. This isn't just about conspiracy, it's also about privilege. The stories of victims have been used to shield billionaires like Trump and his wealthy allies. Our justice system clearly favors the rich, and cases like Epstein and Trump make that obvious. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene is now speaking out. This clip is right here.
Of a blowback is there right now in MAGA world specifically?
It's pretty big, I have to be honest. It's just a red line that it crosses for many people. Jeffrey Epstein is literally the most well-known convicted pedophile in modern-day history. This is something that's been talked about by many people serving in the administration, myself and many others on the right and the left, of there needing to be transparency of the rich and powerful elites that were in his circle while he was just one of the worst serial abusers of young women. It has been a very serious situation for the administration, and many people are speaking out online. You've seen it. You saw it at Turning Point Student Action Summit this weekend. And a lot of people in MAGA, they really want to know more information about the people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein? And is there a blackmail list?
When it is so bad that Marjorie Taylor Greene is calling you out, you know that MAGA has sunk to a new low and that this will continue to blow up in Donald Trump's face. Especially because Elon Musk is making sure of it, attacking Trump for his awful and humiliating meltdown, but also the MAGA Republicans blocking this list from being released and covering it all up for Trump. After a MAGA influencer wrote that the House Rules Committee voted 7-5 on a party line vote to block an amendment pushing for a full vote on releasing the Epstein files, Elon Musk wrote, "Extremely troubling." He also responded to a MAGA influencer, furious that Donald Trump had broken his promises and is no longer the person that MAGA thought he was. Musk also made sure to uplift a MAGA conspiracy theorist and commentator and Matt Walsh, who was disappointed in the 180 turn that we've seen from MAGA and how the right is just happy to go along in some instances with Donald Trump and his cover-up. And of course, we saw Elon Musk mock the fact that Donald Trump's replies on Truth Social are filled with people angry about his refusal to release the Epstein files. Donald Trump isn't just losing support from outsiders anymore, his own base is turning on him. What used to be just hardcore cult followers has shifted, and now even prominent voices are distancing themselves. Meanwhile, Elon Musk is boosting Epstein-related content on social media, exposing MAGA Republicans for protecting Trump. It wouldn't be shocking if Musk's New America Party challenges those opposing the release of the Epstein list. MAGA is imploding, and it's going to be brutal. And speaking of incompetence, Trump's former cabinet member, Mike Waltz, got grilled by Chris Murphy. This clip is right here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. Mr. Waltz, the UN doesn't have a conventional army. It's got peacekeepers, but there's no aircraft carriers. There's no air force. This is a place where smart power matters, right? This is a place where we invest in things like diplomacy and humanitarian aid and economic development to try to stabilize the world. I think what worries me about your fit for this position is that while you were at the National Security Council, you oversaw the dismantling of many of our most important smart power tools in the U.S. foreign policy toolkit. A lot of conversation has happened on this committee about what has happened to USAID, our ability to influence the world through economic development and humanitarian assistance, but not as much conversation has happened about the attempted destruction, I think led by an NSC process, of our information and media operations around the world. This administration, while you were at the NSC, essentially shut down USAGM, which is the umbrella agency for our global media operations, fired 92% of the staff, announced plans to shut down Radio Free Europe and Voice of America. That they're only open today because of court orders. The administration does not support the Global Engagement Center, which is also now shut down, which was the State Department's ability to try to work with partners around the world to counter Chinese propaganda and Russian propaganda. I mean, listen, we were already having circles run around us by Russia and by China predominantly, even before the administration went forward with this essential destruction of our existing information and counter-propaganda capacity. So maybe just share with me, while you were National Security Advisor, why did you believe that it advanced U.S. national security interests to shut down our most important agencies that try to win the information war, which is a war that, whether we like it or not, exists in this world, and we're not fighting it today while our adversaries are?
Well, thank you for the question, and I think we're in violent agreement that we have to win the information war. We may have a disagreement on the best way to do that. What we did not see were the metrics or the actual results. As you mentioned, we have we're getting in many ways outpaced in the information space. Yet for decades, we've had these entities that have become expensive and have become quite bloated. I think the best way to block and tackle our adversaries abroad is through our amazing private sector, through innovation, through what we're seeing in our leadership role in AI and in other spaces. And so as the president, as the secretary looked across the interagency and those entities, they made those decisions.
But the private sector isn't going to fight Russian and Chinese propaganda around the world, right? I mean, that has to be an essential function of U.S. national security policy, correct?
Well, what they are going to do is show the power of free markets, the power of entrepreneurship, and show really the power of the U.S. In terms of a free society and with our values.
We're going to rely on
frankly, but I think we're actually
Disney?
I think we're actually more aligned than what you think. And what we were looking at is the actual effectiveness. It's the tool that we questioned, and then the president, the secretary, made a decision to reallocate resources.
Listen, I hope the administration does rethink this. If they've got a better idea on how to try to project power in the information space, then I think we're all willing to hear it. But right now, we're taking ourselves off the playing field. You were very involved in the offensive operations in Yemen. As you saw in this last week, the Houthis have restarted attacks on the shipping lanes, two very devastating attacks. Throughout the last 2 months, they have been continuing to take offensive operations against Israel. Doesn't look like we did much to really fundamentally change the battle space there. They still have pretty robust offensive capabilities to target shipping lanes and to target our friends. We spent, looks like, around $1 billion, depleted a lot of our ammunition stocks. How do you look at that operation in retrospect, knowing that as we sit here today, the Houthis have once again begun attacks in the Red Sea?
Well, thank you, Senator, for the question. I think we also have to look at it in the context of
incompetence and betrayal are major theme of this administration. These issues are deeply connected and deserve constant attention. The Epstein file might not decide the election alone, but they highlights the deep betrayal within this leadership. It's all part of a larger story, and we will keep covering it on the show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you stuck around at the end, you can drop the blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.